everybody, it's Jenny, and today I'm participating in the Team Tiny October 22 Hop, and I'm going to be creating a set of 8 Halloween cards from a kit that I put together using items from my stash. So I brought in some plain colored cardstocks and coordinating pattern papers, as well as some washi tape, a bunch of colored images, and some die-cut sentiments. So for each of my cards, I start with a different pattern paper, and for this one I'm matching the ghosts with the ghosts, and I also bring in one of the sentiments and then colored cardstock, and then I just start cutting things down to an A2 size to get an idea of how I want my card to look, and then I start trimming down the pattern papers in different shapes and layers. For this next card, I'm going to bring in some washi tape, and I'm going to use it to almost create a look of an additional piece of pattern paper, and I'm just going to do that by adding 2 strips onto the card base and then layering the polka dot paper on top of that. Then again, I'm going to pick one of my sentiments and add a couple of my colored images. On to the next one. I thought it would be neat to kind of get more out of my pattern papers, and so I'm going to trim out these owls and actually create my own ephemera. And then I started trimming out a tag shape, and then I used a hole punch so that I could go in and add some baker's twine. I picked 2 more pattern papers, and I'm going to trim those down so I can layer my tag on top, and then I'm going to add all of that along with some of the owls onto a bright orange card front. So I continued to play around with all my supplies, and I ended up with this card design here that I didn't really like how it was going, so I didn't include that one, but I'm moving on to the next one and creating more layering pieces and adding in my images and then adding those to the card fronts. I continued to play around with all my different pattern papers and layered up some different shapes, and you'll see that a bunch of those combinations didn't quite make it to a card front. For the next card, I wanted to bring in more of the washi since I have so much and don't really use it. So I thought it would be fun to make it the focal point of this card front and just layer up the different patterns across the front. On to the next card, I'm trying something different and I ripped up some of the plain colored cardstock and I'm just going to layer that along with my images onto the card front. And on to the final card, I'm bringing in my last image and adding in some additional pattern papers that I'm cutting into banner shapes and adding those to the card front. I also decided to create an additional sentiment by bringing in a gold gel pen and just writing out Happy Halloween. So next, now that I got all my designs pretty much laid out, I'm going to start gluing everything down. And here towards the end is when I come back in and add some baker's twine and additional embellishments like sequins to each of the card fronts. And here are my final 8 cards. It was really fun creating my own kit using supplies from my stash. I think it brought in a bunch of different stuff I wouldn't necessarily use together or at all, like the washi that I have stockpiled but don't usually use, and I think it resulted in some really cute cards. So I hope this video inspires you to use up some of those goodies you have sitting in your stash, because I know personally, and probably a bunch of other people can relate, that as crafters, I think we all love to collect just as much as we create. And don't forget to check out the rest of the videos in the hop by following the hashtag Team Tiny October 2022 hop. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!